geoduck is.
Yeah, I know what a geoduck is. From being in CCC.
Yep, it's their mascot. Not what you would think it is.
Evergreen State.
Yeah, but do you know what a geoduck actually is?
It's something you eat.
I guess you could
You
eat
can't
it.
eat it.
Yeah.
It's a
I mean,
weird,
most things
slimy thing that shows up on the shores of
Yeah, it's a clam.
Pacific Ocean, a
Yeah.
clam. Yeah. So I don't know what it is. Shit.
I don't think that
They have
one
the
is.
coolest mascot though. It's a dude who wears the big geoduck. Have you seen
Oh
the
no,
mascot?
that sounds horrifying. Yeah. I don't think that one is winning Mike Leach's mascot battle.
Yeah.
Salukis.
I was like, I looked up, I was like, Salukis, like, that's the fucking. Wait, now you're holding up, I gotta look that up. Yeah. That's the one that has one.
I found out what a billiken is this weekend.
I mean, what, do you know what it is? What's like?
It's like a elf that brings good
Yeah,
luck or
I
something,
know.
or
Yeah,
symbol
right.
of good luck or good charm. Yeah.
When she left, there's like portraits of it all.
Mascot, they had a huge controversy because they actually redid like the mascot.
Oh,
Like, they
I know
redid
that.
a new, like a new version of it, not the other one, and it was like scaring kids.
Yep.
'Cause it was like really creepy looking.
I mean, the one that walks around is kind of terrifying.
Yeah, but it was.
Yeah, the guy
It was
was
even worse.
Yeah.
And I'm just buying this phone straight from Samsung rather than Verizon, so I can get the 1 terabyte, so I don't have to delete stuff. Oh, really? That always drove me crazy. Alright, Prater. Yeah. You asked about the OC.
Well, I'll ask you that.
Who's getting the best answer? I'll refrain. Cause,
Actually, what's time for the phone? What's time for the next one?
I think an early morning flight I can do it.
Oh, from the.
you did say at one point,
We went 10 days from sign day? Something like that?
with enough confidence that I can maybe think like, so that's already.
And Prater might get the best answer. I don't think it's a bad question.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so it's-
See, I
Was it Jake?
Right? It looks like a greyhound, but like with long hair. It's just kind of weird.
Test 1 2 test.
Yeah.
But I think it's post game stuff, so I didn't get to run to the bus, grab my suitcase, and then run to the locker room and change.
Test.
Yeah, really intended. And I kept like I had indigestion after that, so I kept having hiccups. Yeah. And I was sitting next to Whitmer too, so.
It's in birthday.
I did. I was not birthday. Maybe the fellow sign for this guy this morning. He said, "Well, did you work on it?"
It's like 35. Did you?
I didn't ask. I was too busy. So I asked, like, "Is your birthday today, right?"
In Austin.
What was it? I thought it was. I saw
ready to roll? All right. Welcome, guys. Happy Monday. It's good to reconvene and get ready, as we prepare here for our last opportunity this season. We got a week off here for the guys to be able to focus on their schoolwork, being that they got to finish up early here because we're leaving tomorrow after practice to head down to Frisco for this opportunity that we're really excited about to play in this bowl game. And so last week was a good week that we were able to use recruiting during the middle of the week as our players, again, were lifting and running and finishing up their schoolwork. And then we got back this weekend and had 3 practices. And, man, there were 3 really good practices. And it's because of the leadership and the guys on our team. Saturday's practice was one of the most physical practices we had all year. It was good to see the guys compete with each other and get after it, as we work into our game plan practices as we head into the full week of preparation here for North Texas and the Frisco Bowl. We been very diligent with our time, with our game preparation, our recruiting, and everything that's going on right now. Really am proud of our coaches and excited. It's been fun. All the things that go on with recruiting this time of the year in the contact period, we were able to get out, get around to a lot of different places to touch base here in the contact period as we move closer to signing day. And our coaches did a great job with that, as well as game planning and getting ourselves ready and getting prepared and getting set up for the practices that we had this weekend on the with our players and as we move forward. With that being said, we'll start the questions.
Coach, you guys haven't played the bowl game in a couple of years. You guys haven't won one since 17, right? How much of an impact does winning a bowl game at the end of the season have on the following season? Does that carry over very well?
Well, we haven't played in one in a while, so that's the biggest thing. This group of young men, this team, this family deserves this opportunity. This is a bowl game that we are excited to be in. And our players, again, they've shown that with their preparation here in our first 3 practices over the weekend. It's an opportunity to finish strong. It's going to take great preparation and keeping our focus and staying locked in on what we get to do and the opportunity we have. Obviously, we go on the road, and we're on the road for a few days here, and how we keep our focus and keep our purpose right, manage our accountability, and make sure we have urgency every day with our practices down there. And, there's going to be plenty of time down there, too. We got some things set up as a program. We set up extra things for our players to do to ensure that they have a good time with their free time down there. I mean, we got top golf set up for them on top of what the bowl has done for them. It's it's good for some of those guys to go figure out that they don't know how to play golf. Some of them actually can play golf pretty good. But, opportunities to go to the movies and hang out with each other. Every year it's a new team. Every year it is a new team. How we finish is everything. How we finish in school this week is everything. How we finish, this season is everything. So, yes, to answer your question, it is a big deal to finish strong. And I'm excited, we've got some great young men. Fortunately, some of them are going to graduate and move on. Some of them will get the opportunity to keep playing the game. Some of them will move into a new arena and compete in that arena. And I know this. I mean, we got a lot of talented men that will be going on into the real world that we're excited for them. We will miss them. But, this one last opportunity here this week, we are going to have fun together preparing.
You guys have a strong connection with the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
Both players from Texas and going to Cowboy connections. And what does it mean for you guys to be down in this area, and how cool for the kids from the area to get to play close to home?
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's for us, we're very grateful to be in this bowl game. It is, we will be practicing, for a few days there at the Star. The connections with the Cowboys, the guys that have played here, they're either coaches and players, being able to help us with that and move around their practice schedule is huge. We're very grateful for the Cowboys for allowing us to do that. And it's an honor to be in and around that facility. And obviously we have guys that have played here that are currently playing for them that we love and looking forward to catching up with. And, obviously Kellen is there and doing a great job. So we're excited to see all those guys. They're going to be busy, so I'm not sure how much we'll be able to get to catch up with them. But, for the players on our team, what an awesome opportunity. Again, we do recruit Texas. We do have a fair amount of Texas guys on our team. It's always exciting, as a player to be able to go back and play where you grew up. And there's obviously guys from, all over the West Coast where we get to go and play throughout the course of the year with our conference schedule and things like that. But what an opportunity for our guys from Texas for us to be able to play there in a bowl game.
The rules of recruiting, are you able to do any recruiting while you're down there this week?
So we are, yes.
I think there's some state finals going on.
Yes, there are. There are rules that are still open, and how we manage the windows of everything. Again, it's almost a 2.5 week recruiting period, this contact period, of which we got 5 days because of the championship game and the bowl game. We got, only 5 days to be out on the road to make sure that we're handling what we need to here with our players and our preparation, and 1 weekend of official visits when others get 3. So we got to multitask just a little bit here and there, and that's why I say it's awesome to see our coaches. Again, everything is about perspective, right? It's like, hey, we're going to go hard for this week, or we're going to drag it out for 2 weeks. We don't get a choice. We get to go hard for a week, and that's why I say really proud of the coaches. Our recruiting staff, right? Recruiting, for them, it's around the clock. It's not just the recruiting and the relationships and the diligence, but it's the logistics of which our recruiting staff was able to help us with to get around and to see all the people we did here in the last week.
What if DeAndre Cooper and DeAndre Pierce, meant to this recruiting department? Obviously, two younger guys who seem to, really make good connections with recruits.
Yeah, it's huge. Everybody's role within this building in each different department is significant. And we're very grateful for the people in our recruiting department and how they work together. Again, in recruiting, it is about building relationships. We don't recruit a ton of people because we are very concerned and very excited about where we spend our time and our energy and who we invest that into as an overall staff. And those two are, very invested in creating relationships, with the people that we are recruiting, and as well as around the building. They're awesome to have around the building, and they always are very diligent with what they do.
How's Jabril fitting in, taking over, and we saw some pictures with him obviously getting down the road a little bit. Is he going to be handling that position until the bowl game?
Yeah, so Jabril and I will be working with the edge position through the bowl game. So it's last couple practices, it's been fun out there with him, and it was an awesome opportunity for him to be out on the road. A lot of, it's a new experience for him. And shoot, we all remember our first time out on the road recruiting. There's, at a later time, we'll go into some of those stories that you guys will get a good laugh out of. But Jabril is this is why we do it. Jabril, so proud of Jabril and how he's grown, how he came in as a freshman and everything that he's done since he's been here. He's got his master's degree. He is become one heck of a coach, and to see him, help the family and get out on the road and go recruiting and how he represents our brotherhood and our family here. I'm very proud of him. I know our coaches are proud of him as well.
Will he be considered for possibly the full-time job?
Yeah, we'll get to that, when the bowl game's over.
Transfer portal.
The schools had a policy for bowl games, letting players who are married bring their wives on the trip. Do you subscribe to that policy, and if so, why? And is that happening this week, Coach?
Yeah, that's been the deal. That's most, think about it real quick, but every school that I've ever been at does that. It's different when you're married and you're a student athlete. There's a lot of different things that if you're married that are different for you than if you're not. So that's just one of them. And again, for us, our wives are going on the trip, right? So I don't even know anything different than that. Again, our philosophy here, we are a developmental program. We are about finding the right people with the right skill set and all working together to create a plan of development for everybody in this building, including ourselves, but for the student athletes as people, as students, and obviously as football players. And so we will at times use and investigate the personnel in the transfer portal. But here's the bottom line. We're going to know exactly, again, we don't recruit a lot of people. We're going to recruit the right people. We're going to recruit the people we know. We're going to recruit the people that we know their families. And it is always about the right fit, is people first, and obviously a certain skill set that fulfills a role that, we need to add depth at, or whatever that case may be.
Who is the North Texas offense? They put up a lot of numbers this year.
Yeah.
Who stands out most on film?
Well, as usual, it starts up front. I mean, they were one of the best rushing offenses in the nation. Physical up front. They run a bunch of different schemes up front in their run game. They do it with tempo. The quarterback's number can be a number in the run game as well. And what that does from what we've seen on film then with the tempo, with the physicality up front, there's a lot of numbers in the box, and then it creates space for them down the field when you see how many explosive pass plays they've had as well. And what some of their wide receivers are averaging per catch, it's pretty high. And in turn, their offense, in terms of yards per game, has been very successful, and the amount of points that they're scoring per game.
Dirk, obviously, coach was last game on Saturday. What have you enjoyed about having him around these last couple of months, and what have you mean to the team, and for him to step in and do what he did, and help out the rest of the season? What are your thoughts on Dirk?
Yeah, but very grateful, for the adjustments we made, earlier this season, and how he's led the offensive staff, and how the job the offensive staff has done for our players. Because ultimately that's what it's all about, is being able to provide an environment where players and everybody really can grow, can thrive, can build a level of confidence and a certain mentality needed within this game. And we're very fortunate that, he's been able to obviously work with the quarterbacks and help Talon develop as well. And we get to do it one last time here, and I'm excited. He doesn't go out on road recruiting, so he's been watching a fair amount of film and getting ready, and it's pretty awesome. He's, the amount of time and work that he's put in here for our last opportunity.
You talked about this a few weeks ago, just in terms of the timeline. I know you got the bowl game, but the greater responsibility, are you still on the timeline of announcing a new offensive coordinator by next week?
Yeah, we should be in there pretty close to that timeline. Again, being really diligent. We have so many pieces in place here. Our players are awesome. We spoke to the leadership group last night about what they've done and who they've become and how they've led. And I say all that to say this, is that we have an opportunity to do something special here with the young men we have here, the young men that we are recruiting, and we have a bunch of those pieces in place. So this is such a big opportunity for us. Being diligent with it and making sure this fit is right is the most important thing. And really, really grateful for the belief and the understanding of our players here. And again, when we have a lot of the pieces in place, it's about finding the right fit for everybody, and we are talking everybody. The personnel we have coming back, coaches, and what that looks like. So, yes, we're pretty close to our timeline there.
Sometime between Sunday and Wednesday, or
Yeah.
Sunday. It's important for you to get that out before signing day.
Yeah, there's no question. So we're on our timeline there, Mike, and I'll be honest with you, it's exciting. It is really exciting. So, again, this game, as we all seen, we're talking, you guys are asking about the transfer portal and all that. Change happens in college football. In it, like anything else in life, it's perspective that you get to keep, and which perspective are you going to take. And for us, what we're talking about all the time here is, change provides opportunity. This year provided opportunity for a lot of young men in this program to grow and thrive. And very proud of how they handled that, earlier this year. No worries.
You mentioned the pieces being in place and stuff. I think this is a pretty attractive position. Do you get a lot of interest from high-level candidates for this position?
A lot, and because we do have a lot of pieces in place, again, and we got great young men. This is an unbelievable city and an unbelievable university that we're so blessed to be a part of. And that's why it is very, very important that we are extremely diligent so that, we have a great opportunity to make huge strides as we move forward here. So it is about narrowing it down, and it always starts with people, who they are, what their relational skill set is like, their ability to motivate, to lead, and then obviously their performance, their knowledge, their organization, their experience.
Regardless of this position, maybe just bigger picture in terms of hiring, inside the family or outside the family, what kind of perfect balance are you looking for on your staff?
Well, we'll get into all that, later, Mike. Again, in respect to everybody wanting to know, because it is an exciting time. Let's be honest. It is exciting. I don't want to go into too much of the details when we get to that point of announcing something. We're going to share all that stuff. We'll go into those things. But I did in respect, and I'm excited too about it. I know everybody else is and eager. But the timing is everything. Make sure we do it the right way.
With the salary pool for your assistant coach, you got it in the contract where it goes up a little bit each year. But what kind of commitment, I guess, from Jeremiah and the give and take there, where to get some quality candidates for these kind of jobs, you may have to increase that even more. What's that kind of conversation's been like, or the commitment from the university side to help you get who you want?
Well, I will say this, and this is, we're not going to go into the great details, but I will tell you this. Where we are at and what we're able to do from a resource standpoint, and who we are able to have conversations with because of where we at right now in terms of where we were 2 years ago, it's not even close. And that's because of JD's vision, JD's ability to be persistent about the vision and doing the things that it's going to take for it to come to life. It's because of our boosters. It is because of the people in this community, and it is because of the leadership on our campus. And they want to continue to see the things that are going on here, the environment that is being built, the culture that is being created. And at the end of the day, again, that is our players. That is our leadership group, all the way down to our freshmen. But when we get through this bowl game here, you guys will see how much improvement there has been. We got cranes out here working on our stadium right now, not today because of the weather out there, but we're just very grateful that we have a great leader like Jeremiah, and all the support that we are getting from not only the boosters and the people that have taken care of this program for a long time and how much that's increased, but even the companies and organizations within our community here that are even pouring more, not just into the program, but into our players as well.
The defense, obviously, we don't know who's coming back or not for some of those guys, but it's obviously going to look a lot different next year.
Right.
The team in general, is this final 4 days down in Texas, this final game together, want to go out with a win? I know it's early, but do you get a sense that this is a motivated group that kind of want to take advantage of this last few weeks together?
BJ, the way they practice over the weekend, Saturday was a really physical practice. There was even some extracurriculars. They were getting after it. So based on the way we've seen them practice over the weekend and the energy that they've had in and around the building, yeah, they're excited because they love each other, they care about each other. We obviously want to do our very best for them too in our preparation for them and everything we are doing to organize this trip, to organize our preparation so that we can maximize, this last week together.
We talked a lot about what this place means and the people it attracts. Gabe Hunter's a dude who had offers from other places but chose to walk on here, has waited his turn. What has he brought to this program, and what work has he done to
Well, he got an opportunity because of injury, and he stepped up and was ready to go. He has been consistent, and that's the thing. He's intelligent. He understands the game. He cares about getting better at the game, and he, because of that, he has been consistent. Stepping in and fulfilling in that role.
TJ Schramm said he wasn't sure if he was going to use his COVID year or not. He has it available, and he's going to take the time. What do you guys do on your end as far as guys maybe you would want? Does that fall in line with recruiting, with the amount of scholarships? How do you address that, Coach?
There's no question it does. I mean, every year that's the same. That's the conversation, especially now with, as everyone gets an extra year because of the COVID year, right? If guys are going to exercise that sixth year, and everybody's situation is different. It really is. I mean, and ultimately for us here isn't anything, and I say this, and our players know it, we care about what is in their best interest. Would we come back? Would we welcome back with open arms and a big hug? Yeah, but guess what? It is about what's best for our players, and that's what we talk about all the time, and that's what we're committed to. So within some of these situations, it depends on the situation and what are the facts, what are the deciding factors. And sitting down and being able to help provide information, clarity on what some of those factors may be, and listening, having conversation is as much about listening as it is about anything else.
As you go through offensive coordinator candidates, do you use Dirk Cutter's input or voice at all?
Next question.
Obviously, a lot of guys are deciding to skip bowl games to get ready for draft.
Yeah.
Have you had those conversations with any players? Do you expect to?
And everybody that has, obviously been able to practice and been practicing. And, again, that's been awesome to see, And, again, it shows how much these guys care about each other in this team. And I know that's a big deal, but it's different. May that pop up at some point at some time? Yeah, it's what college football is sometime. But, again, we got a lot of guys that are getting an opportunity to go on and play in the NFL that in our first 3 practices and all that stuff, they've been out there getting after it. You know what they want to do? They want to continue to prove and showcase their development, showcase the development of our team and how we play together. Again, how we finish together is everything that's important to them.
For the handful of guys who this will be their last game as a BSU player, how excited are you for them to, get out there and try to finish on a high note?
Yeah, there's, again, for the guys on this team that are seniors, that this will be the last game. I mean, honestly, it's hard to talk about because we're going to miss them. We're going to miss them as people. Obviously, we got some very talented players. Like we just spoke about, some of those guys will get the opportunity to go on and play, but you know what? The ones that don't either, they're going to compete and be very successful in whatever arena it is that they go into next. And although we won't get to be around them every single day like we're used to right now, we'll always be here. We know that we always have their back and whatever they need, as they move forward in the future. And obviously we know they'll have ours. And that's the cool thing about the experience here is that you got a bond that just goes beyond the football field. And we're so very proud of, our seniors and the guys that are moving on. They have been a guiding force, a great source of leadership, of being persistent and resilient throughout this season, and we're really proud of them.
Going back to the Star, what days are you going, and how did that deal come together? And are you going for intense practices or more kind of the experience? A little bit of both?
Well, it's the best practice, obviously, situation we can be in. So that is number one, again, what is best for our preparation. And that is fortunate enough, having the relationships with the people that we do that, within the Cowboys organization and being able to organize our practice time around their activities, obviously is the most important thing for us to be able to get there, but it actually worked out. If it didn't work out, then we had other options that would have been really good too, but the priority is our preparation. And this provides us the best opportunity to prepare. It's right by our hotel. It's not as far as that we were going to have to travel. And so that's a huge part of it, Mike. It really is. And then, you know, for some of those guys, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that have been, you know, we've had players that have played inside the Star. That's where they play their high school games and stuff like that. So some of the guys have been in there and all those things. Good. Thank you, guys.
He's in Seattle.
Who went home?
Yeah, he's on a vacation until the bowl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He had to see, couldn't go a whole press well.
I didn't think it was an out-of-line question. Like, hey, you got an NFL head coach, is he gonna help figure out?
Keeping that streak going.
What?
Keeping that streak going. I like it.
No. I didn't think. Heather would help.
How we doing? How we doing? Good to see you guys. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a while. Guys got all your Christmas shopping done? Not even close? Yeah, me neither. Not even close. It's my wife's birthday, November 20. It was the day we played Utah State, and so I had to package Christmas and birthday together, so I got some work to do in a little bit.
That can be good and bad.
Yes, yes.
Easier but more expensive, right?
Yes, exactly right. So I gotta figure, I gotta work through that here in a week.
Well, Spence, you look at this offense that you're going to face, and they put up big numbers in the air and on the ground. I mean, what do you see as the greatest strength of this offense?
Yeah, I mean, extremely impressed with what they've done offensively. I think they're putting up over 500 yards a game, which ranks, top 20 in the nation, and how balanced they are doing it. You know what I mean? They rush for over 200 yards a game and throw for over 260. You just don't see a lot of offenses doing that, and being able to do it at a high tempo rate, but also running the ball the way they are and showing a lot of different run schemes and doing it with a lot of different tailbacks. The quarterback's a factor in the run game. They get a lot of guys to rock. So just has been I haven't seen a lot of them prior to obviously game planning them, and very impressed with what they do offensively and impressed with the level of talent they have across the board, skill position-wise. And honestly, I think their offensive line is coached extremely well, especially the amount they put on them from the amount of schemes that they do from an offensive run game standpoint. Very impressive. Very impressed, and we know the task at hand, especially the formations and what they're doing off a tempo. It's going to be a really big task, and excited to get into it with our guys.
I think their quarterback is like 24, 25 years old. What kind of added dimension to that kind of experience, offer?
Yeah, I think just, I believe he was a Major League Baseball player or was in the minor leagues for a couple years. And watching him and how he operates the offense, you can just tell that he's got a lot of savvy to him. He's been through it. He leads the team. He leads the offense. He takes a couple big hits. He gets right back up, can run the ball, stays in the pocket. So got a lot of respect for him in regards to, especially as a quarterback, man. Everything goes through you. And an offense that goes that fast, he has to make quick decisions and operate. And he does a really good job. And that shows, obviously, that his coaching staff has done a really good job with him, but also just him as the leader of that offense. Really impressed with him.
Will be back next year. I mean, Andy said it seems like a pretty motivated group. I mean, what do you make of these guys kind of wanting to go down there and have one last ride together and just the time together, away from football, but also to finish strong with a win?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, obviously, this group, and I've talked to you guys a lot about how much this group means to me and means this coaching staff and means to this place, more importantly, and what they've done. And so it's going to be a time for our guys to obviously spend time together and don't miss any of those moments down at the bowl site, the practices, the meetings, as well as the things they get to do together outside of football. But I do know they want to finish strong. They want very disappointed as a group that we weren't able to win the championship like we worked our tails off to do. Proud of them. And so they want to finish this thing strong. And they want to finish it for their brothers. They want to finish it for this group. And every team every year is different. The 2022 Broncos is going to look very different in 23, and that's the way it is every single year in college football. And so the amount of love and respect we have for this group of seniors, this group of guys that is going to be moving on. And I know, obviously, as a coaching staff, we want them to finish strong for them, but they want to too. The practices that they've had the past couple of days have been some of the most competitive practices we've had all year, but that's just who this group is. It's how they prep to play in that championship game, and I know that's how they're going to prep to play North Texas. They obviously understand the task at hand with this offense, but they're excited to do it, and they're excited to do it together. And so it's going to be, just like I told you guys, the emotional side of the game, with it being the last game on the blue in the Mountain West Championship game, this being the last game that we have some of these guys playing together, is going to be emotional in a lot of ways because of what they've done for this program. And I want them to finish it strong and finish on the right note, and they do too.
It's like Jabril doing some recruiting. Sounds like he's going to be helping with the edges.
Yeah. Yep.
What's his prospects as a coach in the future?
Yeah, I think Jabril Frazier does a phenomenal job. Seeing him from obviously being able to coach him when he was a player to seeing him kind of get away from football for a little bit, take his shot at the NFL, and then get back into it. And the 3 years he's been here as a graduate assistant, he's been awesome. His attention to detail, how he works, how he preps, wants to continue to improve his class. Now he's got his master's. He's got the respect of everybody in the locker room, which is a huge part when you're a young coach, because there's still a decent amount of guys on this team that played with him. So it goes from that's my friend Jabril to now that's Coach Frazier, and he's done a phenomenal job separating those in his time coaching. I think he's an absolute rock star in this game, and I got a lot of respect for him, and so excited to see him work with Coach Avalos through this bowl game. And after the bowl game, we'll see what happens.
Obviously, don't want to go back too far, but as you were watching the film and preparing for North Texas, what did Fresno State do to you guys in that title game that gave you problems, and how do you go about trying to fix that?
Yeah, good question. After every game, you're always looking to see how an offense attacks you. There are some similarities to what North Texas does offensively, and so there's going to be some things that show up from that game. No different throughout the rest of the season, some different ways we've been attacked. But I think just speaking specifically to the Fresno State game, really proud of how our guys competed and played in that game. Obviously, we didn't do enough to win the game, but proud of how they played and how they attacked that championship game. And the biggest thing I wanted them to know after that game, because of how when you compete and give your all to something, it's painful when you don't achieve the results you want. And so seeing them after the game, obviously heartbroken to not win it, the biggest thing I want to show them is hard work does pay off. Like the work they put in to get ready for that game, it showed. Now, it wasn't perfect. I got to be better. There's a lot of moments in that game that we need to be better defensively, but proud in how they played. Now the stuff that we did give up in that game will probably show up Saturday night down in Frisco, and there's some things that we got to be ready to attack.
Andy said that Saturday's practice was probably the most physical practice you've had all year.
Yeah.
And he said a big reason for that was the leadership, and guys
100%.
probably playing in the NFL next year, they were the ones leading it. That's rare in college football, as you know. A lot of those guys, they don't play in the bowl game
100%.
anymore, Coach. Why does that not happen here?
Yeah. I am a firm believer that's because these guys love playing with the brother to their right and their left. You know what I mean? I think it's way more for the guys in these seats about the guy to the right and their left. It's not as much about me, which it's easy to get caught up in that, especially when you're a high-profile player that has potential to play in the NFL, all these things. It can quickly become all about me and that's just not this group. That's not these players. Now, once again, not saying they're perfect, they don't got any problems, but that's what I think brings that is it's about how can I compete my tail off for my brother next to me, because I don't want to let him down. And that's what I love about coaching this group is that's why they play so relentless. That's why every snap is they're hunting, is because they don't want to let their brother down. It's not so much just I want to make the play, I want to get the highlight. I think obviously there's always some of that, which is good, but they're playing for the brother to the right and their left, and they're playing for this brotherhood, and them going out on Saturday, bowl prep, getting ready, not even getting into North Texas at that point, just really cleaning up some of our details. Seeing them compete that way is an encapsulation of this group that just cares about their brothers. They want to finish this thing strong. They want to compete at a high level. And it doesn't matter if anybody's out there watching either. And that's what you love about them. It's about competing at a high level, growing the guy next to you. And that's why they've had the success they've had this year, is because of that. And that's why they've played as hard as they have, and that's why they've grown this whole year.
Gabe Hunter came to this program as a walk-on. What do you remember about his recruitment and him wanting to come to Boise State over other places where he had full rides?
Yeah. Just going back to Gabe coming here, and I think it's just special about this place. It's one of those things that people want to be a part of something like this, and what I mean by that is a brotherhood that does something different. The beautiful thing about Boise State is being able to have these games televised. We have a blue field. Like, there's always something that is intriguing, I think, from the outside. And then the more you bring people into this program, you get them inside these walls, they see that there is something special about this place that people want to be a part of, from players to staff. And so when you bring a play, especially if they're aligned with what we're about, toughness, hard work, those type of things that are our culture. And so just like Gabe Hunter had opportunities scholarship-wise to go different places and came here, found out more about what this place is and what has made it successful to this point, and he wanted to be a part of it. And to his credit, since he got here, he just kept working his tail off. He didn't know it was going to be this year where his number was going to be called upon. We didn't know that we were going to need him to make 2 big interceptions at the end of games and the different plays he's made, but he did. And that's this group, that's this team that, with the amount of injuries we've had this year, guys have had to step up in a lot of different roles, either into a starting role or into a role where they play a lot. And early on in the season from spring ball, no one really thought they'd have to. But they kept working in the dark, and then all of a sudden now the hard work that they've done is in the light, and that's what I love about this game. That's what I love about this group is they are going to put the work in when no one's watching. Guys are up there right now where it's snowing outside, grinding on film. No one's going to know that, but they're doing it consistently week in and week out. And some of those guys up there might not even play on Saturday night, but they're working because they know their time's coming at some point. Maybe it's not Saturday. It might be next year, but they're working. And that's what I love about this group, and hard work does pay off, and I'm so proud of them that they see that. And it's a pleasure to coach them. It's a pleasure to be around them and want nothing but the best for them because they put the work in to be successful.
What's going on the last couple months getting to know Dirk Cutter a little better?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's coaching his last game on Saturday. Obviously, what did he mean to the team to come in the way he did and help out the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's been awesome to be around Coach Cutter these past couple months. Obviously, prior to, we had some interaction. He's obviously think the world of him, and his reputation speaks for itself. But it's been awesome to be around him. I mean, you talk about a guy that comes to work every day and it's fun to be around. I mean, I'm trying to pick his brain at all times just with the amount of football he knows, from obviously offensively how an offense might attack us, to just different ways from leadership and program development stuff things. But it's been awesome to be around him, seeing him around our players and what he's done with the offense. Obviously, the whole offensive staff, and really buying into what Coach Cutter's doing, and seeing the players play the way they have down the stretch. Been awesome to see. And so I'm soaking it up with him. And I joke with him, I don't golf really well, but even when he's done, I got to find ways to hang out with him outside of football. But it's been a pleasure getting to know him. It's been a pleasure working with him these past couple months, and I've learned a lot from him. And he's definitely a guy that even in the coming months and years, a guy that I'm going to continually bend his ear on things football and even stuff out of football, because just got a ton of respect for him as a person as well.
Last question. Good.
Guys, appreciate you guys, man. And I mean this, if I don't get a chance to talk to you guys before Christmas and the holidays, man, you guys have a blessed Christmas, a happy New Year, and appreciate you guys on the grind through all this. So I mean that. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Coach. Yep.
T.Y. Hilton to the Cowboys.
They're not gonna get it.
Coach, is there?
No, wide receiver, they signed him. T.Y. Hilton, he's a free agent for
I didn't realize, yeah, okay. I didn't realize he was in the league anymore. I wonder why the desperation at that position, somebody get hurt yesterday?
I don't know.
I didn't see anybody. Huh.
I didn't even know he was still playing. And he said since you weren't recruited, you've been watching a lot of film. What's your take on North Texas?
Yeah, when you don't, when you got a bowl game and you got 2 weeks and no recruiting, you watch every game about 50 times. Like that's a lot of film. So, yeah, North Texas, they got 4 all-conference players on defense, 2 corners, the middle linebacker, and their stud end. They call it their boundary end. You know, very well coached, very sound, not overly complicated, but they know, you know, they know what they're doing. They know they know how they're going to get attacked. You know, they don't do a whole lot of different stuff. Seems like a lot of teams in that league attack them in similar ways, and they know how they're going to get attacked, and they know their answers for it. So they've given up a lot of points, but in that league they score a lot of points in that league. I've seen some really good quarterbacks, like teams I don't normally watch on tape, but some good offenses in that league for sure.
You want to watch a lot of your own film too, I suspect. Everything you can do in a short amount of time too, to in terms of the self-scouting and stuff like that.
Well, we've been keeping up with that as we go along, and you know, the players were off most of last week, so you know, it's not like you're going to revamp your whole offense in 1 week. That you're, you know, because we had a couple practices over the weekend, and then we're going to get back into it hard tomorrow. You're down there at the bowl game. You know, guys are going to be having their activities on the side, so you know, I don't think it'll be too much different.
What's your priority for in terms of getting your hands on Taylor Green for these last 10 days and making him better in your last final say? What do you want to leave him with over these last 10 days in terms of his development?
A win. I want to leave him with a win. And, you know, Taylor has progressed so far so fast. And, you know, we as an offense just didn't have our best outing in the championship game. Unfortunate that we didn't play our best on that day. But, you know, just would love to leave Taylor with something to build on going into next year. Again, the sky's the limit. He's finishing his last final as we speak, right, in 10 minutes here. He's got his econ final, and you have school behind him for this semester. And, you know, just continuing to build. I mean, after the season's over, I'll give him some things that I think he needs to work on in the off season. But at that point, that's just my opinion. That's somebody else's.
You mentioned somebody else's, like, will there be any, I mean, do you have any input or talk with Andy about, you know, offensive coordinator candidates or, you know, I mean, I'm sure you know a million different people in the business.
Yeah, those are all questions for Andy. Like I'm just worried about finishing up this season the right way, and those are all questions you'd have to talk to Andy about.
What does this week mean for you personally? I mean, it could be your last week. I'm assuming you're not coming back again. You're a reflective guy, so what does this week mean to you?
Yeah, but I don't reflect until after the fact. So, yeah, I've already said my goodbyes to football once and was happy without it. And you know, it's somebody else's time. But I've enjoyed spending time around these players and these coaches. And you know, this is just, we'll try to close it out the right way.
Andy said you guys are going to the Star practice. I mean, you were Dan Quinn's OC for a couple of years, and he was head coach of the Falcons, so
Yep.
you get to bump into some old friends.
Mm-hmm.
What's that going to be like? You know so well the NFL, to get Taylor and your offense to kind of get under that umbrella, even for a couple of days. Is that a special deal, Dirk?
I think it'll be awesome for the players. Like when I just found that out a day or two ago that we were going to be practicing at the Star for those 2 days. I think for the the players, the young guys in this program, I think that will be awesome. Because, I mean, all the great things we have here, but to see what it's like in an NFL practice facility, and I think that's a great experience just on top of the whole bowl thing. I think that's just a really, really cool added throw-in that these guys get.
Will you introduce Talon and Kellen, will they get together and spend some time together?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see how that shakes out. I know on one of the days maybe Wednesday we have to be out by a certain time because they're coming in. I would imagine between the Boise State connection and the Dan Quinn, Robert Prince, all those guys, I would imagine. I know those guys are busy and coming off a crazy win yesterday. But if I think that'd be cool if we got a chance to spend some time with them. That'd be great. All right, have a good one.
Thanks,
Coach,
Thank you.